Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, my name is Zulfia. In this video, I will explain application instruction media of lines and angles with GeoGebra. In this media, we will determine the characteristic, the position of two lines, that is parallel lines, intersect lines, and overlapping lines, and then we will determine relationship between angle which formed by two parallel lines that are cut by a transversal lines. Okay, the first we will determine the characteristic, the position of two lines. Before that, we remove X in GeoGebra and show the grid in GeoGebra. First, we draw two parallel lines in GeoGebra. To draw the parallel lines, first we draw the straight lines. Click the menu line and click tool line. We click in 2 point, 1 point and 2 point. And then we click to parallel line in menu perpendicular line and we click the straight line first and we click the desired position. So we remove the grid in GeoGebra so that form two parallel lines in the GeoGebra. The next, we determine of intersection point on the two parallel lines. Notice that the picture show there is no intersection point on the two parallel lines. So we conclude that two lines are set parallel if two lines do not have an intersection point. So let's look the characteristic of intersect lines. First, we draw two intersect lines in GeoGebra. To draw intersect lines, we draw a first straight line. And after that, we draw second straight line that are cut by the first line. And after that, we draw second straight line that are cut by the first line. So that form the two intersect lines in GeoGebra. The next, determine of intersection point on the two intersect lines. Notice that the picture show there is one intersection point on the two intersect lines. We give them the intersection point and point E. So we conclude that two lines are set intersect if two lines have one intersection point. Okay, let's look the characteristic of overlapping lines. First, we draw two overlapping lines in GeoGebra. To draw the overlapping lines, we draw the first line and second line at the same place. We click two line and we draw first line. The next we draw second line in same place and first line. So that form two overlapping lines. Next, determine of intersection point on the two overlapping lines. Notice that the picture show that it cannot determine exactly intersection point on the two overlapping lines because many intersection points are infinite. So we conclude that two lines are set overlapping if two lines is one straight line, so that only looks like a line and have an infinite intersection point. The next, we will determine relationship between angle which formed by two parallel lines that are cut by a transversal line. First, we draw two parallel lines. We click two lines and 2 points, and we click two parallel lines in 2 points, and then we draw a transversal line that intersect the two parallel lines. And make the intersection point at the intersection of the transversal line with the two parallel lines. There is a point G and point H. The next, show the angles at the intersection point and name each angle with a different symbol. We show the angles in point G and point H. To show the angles, click to angle and then click 3 points that form the angle in sequence in a counterclockwise direction. And then we name each angle with different symbol, and we give the same color to the same size angle. So we click Object Properties. We angle A, angle B, angle C, and angle H. We give the same color to the same size angle. A, B with color orange, D2, F, and H. So that from the two parallel lines that are cut by a transversal lines. And then consider the relationship between angle which formed by two parallel lines that are cut by a transversal lines. First, we plot the corresponding angles. The figures show the angle A corresponding with angle E. Notice that the angle A and angle E have the same size. There is 45 degrees. So we conclude that corresponding angles have the same size angle. The next is alternate angles. The figures show the angle D and angle F is alternate. We call is alternate interior angle. And then the figures show the angle A and angle G is called alternate exterior angle. Notice that angle D and angle F have the same size, and angle A and angle G have the same size too. So we conclude that alternate angle have the same size angle. The next is opposite angles. The figure shows the angle B and angle D is opposite. Notice that the angle B and angle D have the same size. So we conclude that opposite angle have the same size angle. The next is consecutive angles. Figures show the angle D and angle E is consecutive angles. It's called consecutive interior angles. And then the angles A and angles H is consecutive angles too, is called consecutive exterior angles. Notice that angles D plus angles E equal to 118 degree, and angle A and angle A plus angle H is equal to 118 degree. So we conclude that the number of consecutive angle is equal to 118 degree. I think that's all my explanation about application instruction media of lines and angles with GeoGebra. Sorry for my mistakes. Thank you for watching, and Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.